Niner Empire, what's going on? Cam Rogers coming at you for the 49ers report. I've got the latest news and rumors surrounding the San Francisco 49ers. Let's start things off with a few news nuggets. And Reuben Foster is safe for now. This coming from Jed York. Of course, the owners' meetings just wrapped up, and York said the following on Reuben, quote, "I know Reuben is very cognizant of where his position is right now, and his time with the 49ers could potentially be over if he continues to do things outside of the team that aren't what we want him to be a part of." And York also went on to say that it'll be his call in terms of the future of Reuben Foster. Now, I'm going to be talking about inside linebacker a lot as we go forward here this offseason during these 49ers report episodes, because I think it's important, especially with the ongoing legal situation with Reuben Foster. So maybe some depth there at inside linebacker. I'll talk about it later in the program, so stay tuned for that. As for the actual legal situation, well, charges have yet to be filed, and we're still waiting on that in regards to Foster. All right, let's get to news item number 2. Joshua Garnett is down 23 pounds. He's now weighing in at 300 pounds even. This is more important than what really looks to the eye. Like, all right, losing 23 pounds, that's good. He's getting healthier. But it's also really critical for Kyle Shanahan's zone blocking scheme, because if you want to be successful in that zone blocking scheme, you got to be a little bit lighter, you got to be quick, and you got to be agile and help with those reach blocks. I think Joshua Garnett probably will be in some competition with Jonathan Cooper and Laken Tomlinson going forward. He needs to get every edge that he possibly can have here, and losing pounds, obviously always a good thing. And he's just 24. He did miss all of 2017 due to knee surgery. And Garnett, in essence, really is a bit of an unknown here, so we'll see what he can do during off-season workouts. All right, news item number 3 here. York and Sherman unblocked each other on Twitter. Yes, this is a thing. Jed York and Richard Sherman, I guess, were enemies before Sherman came on over to the 49ers. And it was this whole awkward thing where, yeah, there was a rivalry and all, and we had to kind of make up when when Sherman got signed. So they unblocked each other on Twitter, and this is hardly surprising. Number one, of course, Sherman played in the NFC West with the Seattle Seahawks, so there's that, and there's also the fact that Sherman is kind of known for being a little active on social media, shall we say. So maybe there was a time when Sherman was chirping Jed York on Twitter. Who the heck knows? So there you go. They unblocked each other. They're friends now. All is good in the world. All right, that's your lowdown with the news surrounding the 49ers. I'm going to get to my rumors in a matter of moments, but first, a word from our friends at Man Crates.
Man Crates. Awesome gifts for men in real wooden crates, wrapped in a cocoon of duct tape, or housed in ammo cans that are virtually indestructible. Some gifts he'll get to assemble himself. Some gifts you'll beg him to share. And some gifts are sealed inside layers of rock-solid concrete. Gifts guys love, from grilling gear to old-school video games and more. Man Crates. Awesome gifts for men.
Great gifts that guys love. Head on to mancrates.com to check out the fantastic array of products that they have. Many thanks to Man Crates for sponsoring the 49ers report. Let's get into the rumors now. Will the 49ers draft Minkah Fitzpatrick at number 9 overall? We're giving this 2 Jed heads, so firmly in that rumor category, this stemming from Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft. And look, it's not Denzel Ward this time. The last 2 times, I believe it was Denzel Ward. Now it is Minkah Fitzpatrick, which I think is a better fit here. I think it's interesting, and I also have the 49ers mocking and drafting Minkah Fitzpatrick. But here's the lowdown in my eyes. I think if Quentin Nelson isn't there at number 9, there's a very real possibility that the 49ers trade back and maybe grab a position of need earlier in that first round, or shall I say later in that first round, and maybe accumulate a few draft picks there. So 2 Jed heads on the 49ers getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. I could see them going and dealing with the secondary in the later rounds, maybe not that first round there. So I think it's Quentin Nelson or it's trade back for the 49ers. 2 Jed heads there. All right, let's get to rumor number 2 here. Is Eric Reid still unsigned due to his protest during the national anthem? We're giving this 3 Jed heads here, so we're faithful in the accuracy of that. Now, I did talk a little bit about this a week ago. I'm mentioning it again here because Roger Goodell recently answered a question about it, and he gave a very canned answer saying, quote, The 32 teams make their individual decisions on the players that they think are going to best help their franchises. Those are decisions that they have to make. Folks, it doesn't get more canned than that. So that's actually what he said during the Colin Kaepernick situation as well. So looks like he's got a bit of a script here to him. So there you go. That's the latest on Eric Reid. You're watching the 49ers Report. I'm Cam Rogers. Check me out on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. Keep those comments flowing on YouTube and Facebook Live. We do appreciate when you guys chime in. All right, let's take a look at my rumor meter. So the scale of believability here, as you see those Jed heads. 0 Jed heads, fake news, do not believe in that rumor. 1 Jed head, little truth to it. 2 Jed heads, it's simmering, firmly in that rumor category. 3 Jed heads, we're faithful in it. And then 4 Jed heads, it's happening, it's a thing. Let's get to rumor number 3 now. Are Pete Carroll and Richard Sherman on bad terms right now? We're going to give this 3 Jed heads. We're pretty faithful in that. So Sherman, of course, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, played with Pete Carroll. And it starts with Sherman recently saying, the Seahawks have lost their way. How about that? And that Pete Carroll is better fit for the college game. So Carroll then responded, quote, Sherman's been saying stuff his whole career, so this is nothing different. He's just trying to figure it out. Guys, Sherman's just trying to figure it out, whatever that means. And so, safe to say these two aren't grabbing beers together or anything like that. Sherman signed with the 49ers shortly after the Seahawks said bye-bye. So, there you go, 3 Jed heads on that one. Let's get to the next rumor on our list here. Are the Niners going to acquire Odell Beckham Jr.? I gotta throw it up here. People are talking about it. I'm only giving it 1 Jed head. Very little truth to this. So it's been proposed by pundits out there, and that's the main reason why I'm talking about it here, but it ain't happening. It's not gonna go down. And the Giants, of course, are listening to offers for Odell Beckham Jr. Doesn't necessarily mean they are shopping him, and reportedly the Giants are looking for 2 first-round picks here. I don't think it makes sense. I think the 49ers have 3 solid receivers in Marquise Goodwin, Pierre Garçon, and Trent Taylor, and I'm sure they'll bring in a couple more via the draft. There's no reason to go wild here and try to acquire Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe the Niner faithful out there really want Odell to come to town, so that's why I'm going to ask you. Should the for Odell Beckham Jr. Give me a heart in the reaction poll for definitely, a like for nah, I don't want him. So if you're on Facebook Live, hit that reaction button. If you are on YouTube, hit me up in the comments section with a heart and thumbs up, respectively, on what you think. All right, let's get to rumor number 5 here. Are the Niners the 9th best team in the National Football League? We'll give this 2 Jed heads here, and the rumor origin is yours truly, Cam Rogers. I recently, on the Cam Rogers Show, my morning talk show, released a post-free agency edition of my NFL Power Rankings, and I have the 49ers at number 9 for a few reasons here. And let me just say, I'm not like drinking the gold Kool-Aid here. I'm not like some sort of bandwagoner. I looked at it from a very third-party perspective, and here's what I'm going to say. The secondary is very solid. You got Sherman, you got Witherspoon, you got a couple of young safeties there in Tart and Colbert that I think can be very, very solid. All the 49ers really have to do here is address the interior of that offensive line, especially at guard. They got Richburg there at center, as well as look ahead to the edge rushing position and see where they can get some ability in pass rushing, because they have to produce sacks. So those are the 2 things I'm zoning in on. But the NFL is a watered-down league, guys. It's very top-heavy in the NFC, very top-heavy in the AFC. And then after that, there's a lot of opportunity there for a team to kind of come out of nowhere. And the 49ers could be that team. All right, let's get to rumor number 6 here. Do the 49ers really want Allen Robinson? So we're giving this 2 Jed heads, and I'm referencing a report here from SB Nation that says that the 49ers never really were a contender for Allen Robinson, one of the most prized free agents from the opening part of free agency. So 3 teams were reportedly interested here. So the Packers, the Browns, and the Jets in the early going. And then, of course, the Bears eventually got into the fold, and evidently they're in a bidding war with the Green Bay Packers. The Bears eventually went on to win that one. It's not beyond, the fathom here that the 49ers really didn't want Allen Robinson, because they extended Marquise Goodwin, which told me that John Lynch was satisfied with the current wide receiving core and they didn't have to go out and spend a lot of money for Allen Robinson there. All right, so there you go, 2 Jet heads on that one. Something is simmering there. Let's get to rumor number 7. Will Joe Williams have a breakout season at the running back position? 2 Jet heads on this one. People are talking. It's simmering. You got to love it. And Kyle Shanahan is the one who's talking on this one. So Shanahan is expecting Williams to ramp up the urgency in 2018 after 2017 was essentially a year off for this guy due to injury. Now, it'll be interesting to see how this backfield shakes out. So you got McKinnon coming to town. You got Joe Williams coming off an injury. And then you have Matt Breida as well. So Williams was drafted in 2017 out of Utah. His preseason stats were fairly inconsistent. Some games he averaged 8 yards per carry. Other games he was less than 3. So the jury is out a little bit on Joe Williams. So we'll see what happens with him as offseason workouts get going. All right, so are the 49ers going to go ahead and draft a center from Iowa? We're going to give this 2 Jet heads here, and I'm talking about James Daniels. This coming from Hawkeye Nation, that Daniels will be visiting with the 49ers in a pre-draft visit during April. And Hawkeye Nation, very reputable source here, so we're pretty confident that visit is going to go down. And I like this move here for at least the visit, and if the 49ers get this guy, he'd be a really good fit for Shanahan's zone blocking scheme. And you see center there, and you're thinking to yourself, well, wait, we have Richburg. Well, Daniels does have experience at guard, too, so he can compete with the Garnetts and the Tomlinsons and the Jonathan Coopers of the world there during the offseason. So we'll see what happens there. So 2 Jet heads on that one. And the final rumor here. The 49ers decided on starting guards for OTAs. We're giving this 3 Jet heads. We're pretty faithful in the accuracy of this report. This from Joe Fan, of course, the 49ers team reporter. So the report is that the 49ers will slot Laken Tomlinson and Jonathan Cooper at guard to kick off OTAs in May. Garnett's going to be in the mix as well, reportedly in the best shape of his life. He's going to compete with Cooper and Tomlinson. Don't be shocked to see Quentin Nelson or another guard there in the mix as well.